you playing with, sweetie?
Amanda.
Huh? Oh, who are you?
I'm Amanda. I'm 6.
You need to stop listening to girls who have thick, coarse hair on how to grow yours, because if you have fine or weaker strands, then you're playing a completely different game.
Hey loves, welcome and welcome back to my channel. It's your first time here. Hi, my name is Abigail. So I have been MIA from this app for a while, and that's because I needed some downtime. But I am back, and I am back with a new video. And in today's video, I want to talk about hair texture, specifically fine hair. And why I tend to talk about this is because lately I realized that so many naturals don't know that they have fine hair. They think that they have thick coarse hair when in reality they actually have fine hair. And this could be the reason why they are complaining of breakage or not being able to retain length when it comes to their hair. So I want to quickly talk about that just to clear any confusion that they might be having if they eventually stumble on this video. Okay, so what is hair texture? Hair texture simply means the diameter of each strand of your hair, and there are three types of hair texture, which is the fine hair texture, the medium hair texture, and the coarse hair texture. The fine hair texture simply has a small strand diameter, while the coarse hair has a larger and stronger strand diameter, unlike the fine hair. So I'm going to put up a picture so that you can understand and see what I'm explaining. Since we have this fine and coarse hair texture, this has nothing to do with length or pattern of your hair. Because I know a lot of people are so keen on knowing their hair type or their hair pattern without wanting to know what their hair texture is. Now, for fine hair and coarse hair or medium hair, this has nothing to do with the length of your hair or the pattern of your hair. You can have type 4A hair, type 4B hair, or type 4C hair on your head, and your entire hair on your head is going to be fine. Yeah, and it can also be the other way around, whereby you have either type 4C hair and your hair is coarse, or you have B or A or whatever pattern of hair on your head and your hair is going to be coarse. And it can also be the other way that I said, which is fine hair. So you can have any pattern of this hair and your hair will be fine, and you can also have any pattern of this hair and your hair will be coarse. And that is something a lot of people need to understand. So for you to understand this better, I'm going to quickly use this analogy so that you can understand better. Think of a sewing thread, right? Okay, some strands are as thin as a sewing thread, while some are as thick as a yarn. Both of these strands can both be long and full. But when it comes to the strength and weight of these strands, of this thread, they are not the same, they are different. That is how it is when it comes to natural hair. When it comes to your fine hair can be likened to that of a sewing thread, while for the coarse hair, it can be likened to that of a thicker yarn. Do you understand? It's just like you cannot use a sewing thread to actually put your hair in African threading hairstyle, but you can actually use the thicker yarn to put your hair in that African threading hairstyle. That's how it is when it comes to fine hair and coarse hair. So they're actually different because of the diameter of each strand of hair on any individual's head, if that makes sense. So why there's a lot of confusion as to this hair texture is because so many naturals have high density hair. So many people hair are so thick, they have full voluminous hair, and these can actually appear or give off that illusion that they have coarse hair, when in reality their hair is actually fine. You would see a natural with head full of hair, and automatically you would assume that, oh, this lady's hair is coarse, but whereas that hair can actually be fine. The only thing that it's giving off is that illusion of it being coarse because of probably due to shrinkage. And that is one thing about shrinkage. Shrinkage hides the strand thickness. Yes, if your hair shrinks a lot or you have a very high shrinkage level, your hair would give off that illusion that your hair is coarse when your hair is actually fine. And there's this thing about the influencer culture. There's a certain stereotype they're actually pushing. If you are very active on TikTok, you understand what I'm trying to explain. On TikTok, a lot of people push this narrative, false narrative by the way, that type 4 hair has to be thick and coarse. So if your hair is not thick or not coarse, that means you don't have type 4 hair. And that is a very false narrative or very false stereotype that the influencer culture is pushing. Because like I said, you can have type 4 hair and the entire hair on your head is going to be fine. So it doesn't necessarily mean that you have to have type 4 hair and for it to be coarse. Because of this wrong stereotype that the influencer culture are actually pushing, it has made a lot of people think that if their hair is not thick, if their hair is not coarse, it is not fussy hair and it is not beautiful. That is why a lot of people deny their hair for what it really is. And there are 3 ways you can actually find out your hair texture. You don't have to do something really serious for you to find out what your hair texture is, which I'm going to list out in this video, okay? The first test for you to be able to find out your hair texture is for you to conduct the strand test. And how can you conduct this strand test is by plucking out few strands of hair from your head and place it on a white background, probably a white plain paper. Then if you can barely see the strands of hair on that paper, then you have fine hair. You can also place that hair on the white background and place it above any light. If you can barely see the strands, then you have fine hair. That is the strand test method. The second way to find out your hair texture is by conducting the touch test. This is actually a very simple way to find out your hair texture. You just pluck out few strands of hair from your head, then hold it with 2 fingers like this. Just few strands. If you can barely feel your hair on your fingers like this, then you have fine hair. And the third way you can actually find out your hair texture is by conducting the break test. You pull off some strands of hair from your head and gently pull it with your 2 hands. If it should snap off easily, then you have fine hair. So these are the 3 ways you can find out your hair texture. So instead of calling your hair coarse hair, find out your hair texture. Knowing your hair texture is more important than knowing your hair type. So your hair texture is more important than knowing your hair type. Because when you know your hair texture, it helps you to know what product, what hairstyle that you're going to do on your hair. And there are also behavior signs that can also tell you what your hair texture is, if that makes sense. You can also watch out for how easily your hair breaks off when you handle your hair. If your hair breaks off just with the slightest touch, then it means you have fine hair. And also, if you should apply products on your hair and it weighs down your hair easily, then you have fine hair. So for you to be able to grow your hair and prevent breakage and retain length, you have to know your hair texture. This would help you know the things you need to do and the things you need to avoid. If you eventually figure out that you have fine hair, bear this in mind, you need to avoid heavy products. You need to avoid products that weighs down your hair. You need to tilt towards using light products. When it comes to your oil, your butter, anything, make sure it is light if you have fine hair. Because once you're making use of products that are heavy, that weighs down your hair, it can also cause breakage. And if you have fine hair, it means that you need to be careful when it comes to the certain hairstyles that you install on your hair. Okay? You have fine hair, you don't have to install extension every single month. That would be so detrimental to your hair. That would affect your hair. That would make your hair to thin out. Mind you, because of how thin fine hair is, you need to tilt towards installing low manipulation styles such as twists, braids, corals, and probably you can install extension once in a while, probably once a year, twice a year, 3 times a year. But once it becomes so often, it becomes very detrimental to your hair. You also need to incorporate routine treatment in your hair care routine. This is very important because your hair does not have lots of weight, cannot carry a lot of pressure. It needs protein treatment to make it strong. Do you understand? So you have to incorporate this often. Unlike coarse hair that can handle a lot of tension, a lot of manipulation, and might not really be so detrimental for the coarse hair texture. But when it comes to fine hair, things like this would definitely affect your hair. You also need to avoid using so much gel on your hair if you have fine hair, because this can dry out your hair and cause breakage. Also, you need to avoid anything tight hairstyles. Like I said, low manipulation hairstyles. This is one thing that would help you. And also stop over detangling your hair. Your hair does not need so much stress or pressure or manipulation, because if if you are always changing your hairstyle every single day or every single week, you are basically manipulating your hair, and that would cause breakage and you will not be able to retain any length. So your hair is not fragile because it is type 4 hair. Your hair is fragile because it is fine hair. And you having fine hair does not mean that your hair is less beautiful, less black, or less natural. So once you understand your hair, you would stop fighting your hair. And the earlier you accept your hair texture for what it is, the better. Another thing I'm going to advise you is for you to stop listening to girlies that have coarse hair texture. Because what works for them would not work for you. Yeah. So it is better you follow people who have the same hair texture as you, and probably whatever they use will definitely work for you. That is how it works. So I cannot be following someone who has coarse hair using that is always using heavy product and does not have any consequences because of their hair texture, and me now implementing that on my own fine hair. That would not give me the same result as them. So do not follow girly sweet. I mean, do not follow what, do not use or do not listen to whatever they do. Oh, what am I saying? You understand what I mean? Definitely. So don't listen or use the same routine that they are using because the hair texture differs. Follow girlies with fine hair and implement what they are doing. You would see more results when you follow people with fine hair than girlies with coarse hair. So I hope you enjoyed this video and I hope you learned one or two. If you did, please can you give this video a very big thumbs up. Leave me a comment down below and share this video as well. And if you got this far and you haven't subscribed to this channel, I don't know what you're waiting for. Kindly hit the subscribe button and turn the notification bell, and see you in my next video. Bye.